all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs may wash us down, and that we visit the happy hunting grounds and there see the brave Achilles whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides. And though we are not now that mighty force which once moved heaven and earth, that which we are, we are. One even temper of heroic hearts, made old and frail by time and fate, but strong of will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
Run, run, sweet baby, Lord, how they hypnotize. Sweet little baby, I don't know where you've been. Gonna love you, baby, here I come
Wouldn't you say that the 1970 Stags were the greatest Stags of all time?
I'd be in trouble if I do.
All right, here's the boys from the 50s.
Yay!
Claremont Pomona group. I think they beat UCLA that year too, didn't you guys?
They beat San Diego State.
know just where you've been. Sweet little baby, I want you again. got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. Tonight's the night. Let's live it up. I got my money. Let's spin it up. Go out and smash it. Like oh my God. Jump out that sofa. Let's get off.
I know that we'll have a ball if we get down and go out and just lose it all. I feel stressed out, I wanna let it go. Let's go way out, spaced out and losing all control.
Fill up my cup, Mazel tov. Look at her dancing, just take it off. Let's paint the town, we'll shut it down. Let's burn the roof,
And then we'll do it again.
let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it, and do it, and do it. Let's live it up and do it, and do it, and do it, do it, do it. Let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Cause I got a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. A feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I feel tonight's the night. Hey, let's live it up.
Let's live it up.
I got my money. Hey, let's spin it up. Let's spin it up. Go out and smash it.
Smash it.
Like oh my God. Like oh my God. Jump out that sofa. Come on. Let's get off. Fill up my cup.
Drink.
Mazel tov. Look at her dancing.
Move it, move
Just
it.
take it off. Let's paint the town. Paint the town. We'll shut it down. Shut it down. Let's burn the roof.
And then we'll do it again.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. And do it. And do it. Let's live it up and do it. And do it. And do it. Do it. Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Here we come. Here we go. We gotta rock. Easy come. Easy go. Now we on top. Feel the shot. Body rock. Rockin', don't stop. Round and round. Up and down. Around the clock. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday, Saturday, Saturday to Sunday. Get with us. You know what we say. Party every day. Party every day. And I'm feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. I'm feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night. That tonight's gonna be a good night.
came out of class of 1971. Football season 1970 was my senior year. I was asked to share a few thoughts about my experience at Claremont Mudd as an athlete. Started at Harvey Mudd because my dad really knew well the fact that Harvey Mudd was math science, and that was my passion. I also considered Occidental, Redlands, Pomona, Claremont, but my real passion was math and science, so I ended up at Harvey Mudd, though Occidental probably would have been my second choice. Interesting thing happened my freshman year. I broke my hand the third game of the season against Cal Lutheran, so I was in a cast. And by the third game after that, against Redlands, I had convinced the coaches and the doctors that if they would pad it up, I could play with it. And I did. I played 3 games, Redlands, Laverne, and Whittier with a cast on my hand, a big padded thing like a club. Against Caltech, I actually got to play without the cast. But that also led to the question, as a senior and junior and senior, I played both ways. And whether I really wanted to do that as a freshman, I really wasn't thinking about that. I was so concentrated on just being able to play. I was so excited to play that I didn't even think about playing offense, though I did get to catch a touchdown against Whittier College. It helped us defeat them. My sophomore year, I played off and on after Coach Zinda came and we had a good conversation. I played off and on both ways, but then he came to me before the Whittier game and asked me if I'd be willing to give running back a shot. And so that's where it all started. Whittier College, my sophomore year, I started playing both ways and never stopped playing both ways for the rest of my career there. And that was a great experience. I don't regret that at all. And so I look back with fond memories of Coach Zinda and his influence and the very positive things he brought to the program. My most memorable memories my senior year, other than winning the championship, were beating Redlands and Laverne, because we hadn't beat those in the 3 years previous. Against Laverne, I scored the only touchdown of the game. I caught a touchdown, interception, and returned it a long ways. And against Redlands, I had a couple long runs, which helped us beat them. But obviously the biggest memory was the championship, which was the first one, beating Whittier, finishing 8-1 and being ranked 8th in the nation. That was a great experience, and I look back at my time at Harvey Mudd, and it was a great time, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I hope all of you enjoy our reunion, and I look forward to seeing you. Bye.
I'm
1970, our senior year, Bob was elected by the team as captain. The 1970 team established several records, and several of them have been unmatched in the last 45 to 47 years. Among them are the fewest points ever relinquished in a season, which was 70. So that was like 7.5 points a game. Fewest yardage per game, least yardage for a season, 5 defensive shutouts. That one is particularly interesting because that means in over half of the Stags games, the defense didn't allow their opponents to either score a field goal or a touchdown. And that particular record has been unmatched from 1960 to the present for all four-year colleges in Southern California. Bob established an individual record in 1970 of intercepting 3 passes in one game. Bob, I feel very fortunate to be one of the 5 guys that survived those 4 years, with 24 of us starting out in 1967. To be able to play those 4 years with you and see how much you contributed to Stags football, how you stepped up so amazingly in big games, how you were always there. If you were injured, it was certain that nobody ever knew that. You were a generational level player, as I've said. All of the 70 Stags fully endorsed this nomination, and we're proud to be a little piece of your story that's going into the Stags Hall of Fame.
War demonstrations, Vietnam, Nixon, 100 years of college football, Woodstock, Black Power, landing on the moon. We had it all. In my senior year, Claremont won its first football conference championship due to the leadership of Coach Zenda. There were 5 seniors left from the 22 freshmen that started: John Doherty, Sam Bornacorso, Harry Wright, Steve Endemano, and me. I was fortunate to be named captain of the team that was one of the best defensive teams in the country that year. Steve Endemano was the best football player I ever saw. He played both ways. As a cornerback that year, I was successful because of my teammates. My job was easy with Sam Reese, Will Wilkins, Jimmy Nails, and Chris Stecker on the defensive line. I knew the opposing quarterback had at most 3 to 3.5 seconds to throw. With Mike Rosen, Harry Wright, and Scott Thompson as linebackers, all the inside runs and passes were taken care of. With Steve Endemano opposite me, I knew the passes were likely to come my way, and I had my brother Greg and Jaime Correa as supported safeties. So it was easy to cover guys and jump routes for interceptions. This was a Hall of Fame team. Some of the guys are here tonight. Please stand up if you were on that team. I will never forget coming out at halftime of the conference championship game at Whittier and seeing the Claremont fans forming a gauntlet tunnel back to the field from our locker room. Billy Mills, one of my baseball teammates, was holding a pair of deer antlers on his head and was carried on the shoulders of another baseball player as they led us down the gauntlet. Of course, they tripped and fell and got trampled by the football team. I went on to teach mathematics and coach at Golden High School for 38 years. I drew on my many experiences from Claremont to be successful. It was so satisfying to do something meaningful as teaching and coaching. In 1999, I was diagnosed with throat cancer and went through surgery and radiation. I got a call from Hall of Famer David Wells, who I'd played basketball with at Claremont. He had the same disease. Dave passed away 2 years later. I've been more fortunate. In July 2000, my wife Randa passed away from a brain tumor. In 2006, I had a jaw replacement surgery due to damage from radiation. I retired from teaching in 2010, although I coached until 2016. I met my current wife, Luana, in 2010. She has been an inspiration and such a loving and supportive person in my life. I am most proud of my Hall of Fame family, my kids, Amber, Becky, Ryan, Gavin, Dart, Maya, and Gus. They're the best. Great memories and a loving family and best friends from Claremont, Al and Maggie Cornwell keep me strong. Thanks again, and I challenge everybody here to try and do something nice and positive for your spouse or family or friends or neighbors or community, and the world will be a little better place. Go Stags.